Okay. Hi, everyone. We still have people coming into the waiting room that we're admitting, and I'm sure that's going to keep happening as we're going, but we'll just give people another minute to get here and then we'll get going. Okay, so it is 11:02, so I'm going to get us going. Thank you everyone so much for being here. We're really excited to talk about this. Public health research opportunities. It is one of the great benefits of being part of a school of public health and going to UC San Diego, which is a phenomenal research institution. So one of our big goals in the Bachelor of Science in Public Health program is connecting our students with research opportunities. So I'm really glad that you're here. This is being recorded and we will post these slides also for you to come back to and look at these again or share with other people you think could find them useful. So just quick introductions. I'm Britta Larsen. I'm an associate professor in the School of Public Health. I see some of you out there who've been in my classes. And I'm the current director of the BSPH program. And now I want to introduce Christine Zoumas, who is actually going to be doing most of the talking today. Many of you know her and love her, and she doesn't need a big introduction, but I'm going to turn the microphone over to her.
Make sure I'm not muted. Hi, everyone. It is really exciting to talk about research opportunities with you. And when we look at research opportunities at this level, I have to think back to my own experience in college when I worked in a lab and I worked with rats, and then I also worked in summers in a lab too. And I really got to know what I like and what I didn't like. And it was really helpful after school on applications. So I really love this and I support it. What we'll talk about is why you get involved in research and then the opportunities at UCSD, both unpaid voluntary, a volunteer position, and then a paid opportunity. So why do you get involved in research? To explore interests and careers. A lot of times when you are getting involved, it's not just the project that you get to experience, but it's also a lot of different job opportunities around you when you get to meet people. So it brings a lot of new learning opportunities. And it also allows you to set yourself apart from other students who have the degree in grad school and job applications. I get a lot of applications or letters of recommendation, and they ask, does this person have experience? Do they work well in a team? And this is a great opportunity to show that you do. And then again, network opportunities. So let's start with unpaid research opportunities available here. And you will see that there are three major ones, and two are in our department, FMPH 199 and 198. For 199, you're involved in a public health research project. The units go from anywhere from 2 to 4, and you could do up to 6. And you're going to have a pass and non-pass grading, and I'll show you how to find these. The other one is a 198, and you're involved in public health research, but a lot of the time it's beyond classroom learning. It might be something that you're kind of interested in. You can plan events, shadow clinicians, build a lab website. I've had students who've done this with me, and they built resources for patients and certain populations that we're targeting. Again, you get credit for these, 1 to 4 units of credit. up to 4 quarters. Again, pass, no pass, but these are non-paid, but you do get credit for going to these. The other one is not through our department. It's through the academic internship program, and it's a 197. You do have to have a faculty advisor to do this. And again, you get units and you can do this up to 3 quarters. So how does this fit into your degree and your courses that you need? If you see, you have to have 5 courses, about 20 units, and you will see that the 198 and the 199 and also that 197, they do count towards these electives. So then the big question is, how do you find these opportunities? And this is where you have to do a little bit of legwork, and you start at our website, the public health website. If you look at this and go to online education programs, you will then look at the Bachelor of Science in Public Health. This will get you to a page, and you just choose Beyond the Classroom. And when you look at Beyond the Classroom, here are the resources that you will get for all of those 3 opportunities that I covered. Just to show you an example, we're going to start with the 199. And if you're thinking, what's available in 199? If you click this, it will give you all of the faculty who are involved in research. But in order to find out if they're available, you do want to click on it. And in this case, Dr. Fielding Miller is available, and she's currently accepting 199 experiences. Now, you have to keep in mind that some of these experiences that say they're open might not really be open. We're kind of at the mercy of how much is updated, and sometimes it's not in real time. Some of the closed positions might not be closed. So if it says closed and you're very interested, I encourage you to contact the faculty member. Some faculty members would be happy to take 199. They just haven't posted an ad yet. Again, at the very end, I'll give you some hints on how to contact faculty members. And then looking up their profiles, seeing if something is doing something of an interest. I'm going to cover it, but this is a really good suggestion, because if you just look through your profiles, if you did not have a professor or a faculty member in a class, there still might be somebody that is doing something that you might be very interested in. So again, it takes a little legwork, but if you do it, you might find a good match for you and your interests. So when you're looking for volunteer opportunities, I would say contact the faculty to see if they would even take volunteer. So this is out of the blue and you like a faculty member or you see somebody you're interested in. We recommend contacting them. However, if it's out of the blue, sometimes, even myself, I get a little skeptical. I want to know that you're serious and that you're available. And I want to know that if I do take a volunteer, that they'll be dedicated. And in a volunteer position, sometimes it's not, especially if it's not for credit, we get hesitant to see if they're going to come and stay. So you just kind of show them that you're serious and show them that you're committed in the email. And again, at the very end, I'll give you some suggestions. So those are volunteer positions. Again, they're not paid, but many of them you're getting credit. I'm going to show you some paid paid experiences. And if you saw that, we have the handshake. And I looked at this last night and I couldn't get into the site because I'm not an employer or a student. But if you go here and log in, you should be able to get into this site, and it should show you some of the experiences that are available for pay. The first thing I recommend is, searching the jobs. Here in this slide, there's just some suggestions of search terms. Additionally, you can pull these down and filter your search, or just go to all filters, and then you can kind of limit your search that that meets your interest? Is it paid, unpaid, full-time, part-time, internship, and so forth? So I really recommend that UCSD handshake link. As you are exploring opportunities, again, what I just showed you were the opportunities that were online. But I do also think that you can look to see all of our faculty and what we're involved in. And I covered this a little bit in the beginning. I'm going to go into more detail right here. First of all, you want to go to our homepage and look up research. And if you click on research and you look on the left of the screen, here are all the research groups and research interests in our department. Now, looking at that, you will see it's divided into different kind of concentrations. This is a great way to start. What are you interested in? And for this example, I just decided that we'd look into healthy aging and human longevity services. And if we click that, we get a page. And if you look at this page, you will see all of the different faculty members, PIs. You'll get to see how we're involved. And then I just chose Dr. Larsen. And what this does is it gives you a picture of Dr. Larsen's availability or her contact information, her research interests, and then also co-authors and other people that even in the department that do work very similar to Dr. Larsen. There's much more information on about Dr. Larsen, but I spared it and I just gave her her communication information or contact information. This is really good when you're looking for somebody. A lot of times, if you want to think where you're going or where your interests, just going through all of the faculty and getting a little bit. And then here's the tricky part. You have to put yourself out and contact them. This is the best way to kind of enter into that contact to get to know the professor or see what experiences they have. So when you do this, I think the easiest way is if you're in class, definitely introduce yourself, but follow it up with an email, or you can just email whoever you're interested in working with. Now, in your email, of course, you want to introduce yourself. It's nice to include your major. And then if you have a research interest, also include that. If you have any background in the field or any skills, you want to provide that in your email. I always like to see a resume or a cover letter. This is a nice addition. It shows that you're serious and you're prepared. It also summarizes all the experiences in the past. If you have a degree, an associate from community college, this is really nice to put too. Explain why you're interested in working either in the lab or the research experience. You do not have to write a full essay on it, but just a brief couple of sentences to really show again that you're interested and what you have to bring. And then you can ask if there's any opportunities for research assistant positions or volunteer positions or any of those 199 or 198. If they're not, I always like to suggest to students one sentence at the end. If you do not have anything available, is there anyone else that you may suggest? Because, research, opportunities, sometimes they're very kind of fluid. They come and they go. But a lot of our faculty work together and they are going to know other people that do very similar work. Here are just two examples that I received about just a very short, brief introduction and also a request. I will tell you from receiving lots of emails from students, I love reading about students, but if you can be as concise as possible, that's very good too. Conciseness with all of the details, really just getting your point across fast. And it is nice because it's easier to digest on our side. If you do not get a response, I always like to include this. It's not that the faculty member is ignoring you. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed. It is absolutely okay to do a gentle follow-up. and just say, hey, I'm following up again. If you do not have the time or the availability, is there anybody else that you can suggest? Finally, what I just talked about is a really good approach, like I said, for all of these. It's just contacting the faculty member. And again, you might see them on the 199 list. You might see them on the 197 list. You a lot of times can work with a professor to create that 198. And then, what we just talked about, do that for jobs too. Just a very nice, gentle email. That's all the basics. So I always like to stop, and we all can answer your questions if you have them. I'll stop sharing and see if anybody has questions on these opportunities.
So Chris, we have had a few questions both in the chat and the Q&A.
All right.
And I think both Britta and I have been answering them, but you can always take a look at those and maybe read them out to students, because a lot of times students may not even look at those, and they would probably benefit from the answers to those.
Okay, so I like this. Would you recommend students to start in an unpaid role to gain experience before applying to paid positions? This is really good. And I have to say, it really depends on luck. I always say luck is preparedness and opportunity meeting at the same time. And that goes both ways. Sometimes you have a faculty member that just happens to have a position and you just showing interest in having a conversation. Sometimes you get that rare opportunity that you can have it. A lot of these are unpaid, and I think it's hard because I know it's very important to have money, but sometimes the unpaid, if you can say, hey, I could do 4 hours a week or 8 hours a week, that's more of the guaranteed way to do it. And then just like Britta said in the very beginning, and even for myself, a lot of the unpaid positions, when I saw they were very valuable and they were going to be here for another 2 years, we did open up into paid positions. So if you're very lucky, you can get a paid position right away. If you can't find it, it's a very good idea to start for the unpaid and then go into the paid. With that said, it's always nice in the very, very beginning to ask if there's ever an opportunity to go for paid, because in some cases, there's never an opportunity, and you want to know that in the beginning. Britta, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'm answering questions in the chat too, and it's great. People have so many questions. This is kind of related. Someone asked, what do you recommend for a first-year student with no experience in research? And really, when you approach, a 199, a 198, or even some of the paid positions, a lot of the faculty aren't going to expect you as an undergraduate student to have research experience. They know that this is how you're getting research experience. So I wouldn't be shy about that. Really what they're looking for you to bring to it is less the experience you have and more just showing, look, I'm curious, I'm organized, I'm dependable. Just show that you're someone who's excited to be there and not just, well, I have to get credits for my major, and so I guess I'm going to sign up for this. If you show that you're really going to be an asset to their research and someone who they can depend on, who's going to do what's asked, and who's really excited to learn from the opportunity, that's really what they're looking for at this stage. I don't think you have to start with the unpaid positions. I think you can apply for the listed paid positions and just see what happens. But it never hurts to go into the paid positions with some experience, but I definitely wouldn't say don't apply for it if you don't have any experience. I've definitely hired undergraduate research assistants who hadn't done research before, but they had, great experience and showed that they were organized and hungry, and it ended up going really well.
I'll just add, when you go in, like, what I liked when I was taking unpaid and even paid, it's that they show that they are available. That was really important too. Here is my schedule, and I have this chunk of time. Because one of the frustrating things is you take somebody, and then all of a sudden their schedule is constantly changing, and it's not predictable. So if you have a chunk of time, it's very nice to even say, here, I have this time available every week, or I'm willing to work with the availability. One of the things is you just want to make sure that you're committed. And I think that's one of the things, even if you don't have an experience, like Dr. Larsen was saying, we don't expect it, but the showing up and the consistency is something that's very important. A lot of times you're not working alone either. You're working with other grad students and other students. So you do have a lot of people, a lot of these experiences you're set up where you're learning from others too.
And yeah, I would just look at each opportunity that's listed, and keep in mind a lot of them for the 199 do ask for at least a 2-quarter commitment. That's just because, the 10-week quarter goes by so fast. And if you have to train someone to work on your study, then sometimes it takes the first 5 weeks to get them trained. And then you only have 5 weeks for them to actually work on it. And so for that reason, a lot of faculty will ask for, more than 1 quarter. So there was a question about graduating seniors participating. So that can be tricky if you say, I only have my last quarter at UCSD to do this, but for some projects that would fit in with what they need. So again, I would say don't be discouraged, don't be shy. And just like Christine was saying, if none of the listed opportunities look great or exciting to you, or there aren't that many, don't be afraid to go look at the faculty profiles, see what they're working on, send them an email, say, would you be interested in a 199? Because a lot of them would, they just didn't go to the trouble of listing the position on the website.
There was one that said you have to be a public health major to participate in public health research. Um, I I don't think so. I think, and I know we have a lot of public health majors that sometimes participate in research outside too. Um, do you have, I know that was one that I thought was interesting. Um, Dr. Larson, do you have a follow-up on that?
Yeah, so and I think Elisa was answering that as well. You don't have to be a public health major. I think I have had 199s that were not public health majors. There's a lot of other fields on campus that are obviously closely aligned with public health. I would just make sure that our 199 fits in with your major requirements. Okay, good question. Can you still take a 199 if you do not need the credits? Elisa, do you want to answer that one?
Yes, you absolutely can. Sometimes you will have majors that don't require them or don't allow them. You can always do that for additional units.
Great. Can you take 199 multiple times? Elisa?
I'm here. So the answer to this question is yes. You can apply it twice to your public health major. You can actually take 199s for additional units. So for credits at UC San Diego, a total of 9 times. So keep in mind, if you were to do 199s 9 times, you would get major credit 2 times. And then the additional units would all be for, your total units on campus, right? Your overall 180 units that you're required to have in order to graduate. I also got a direct message asking if now was a good time to be applying to opportunities. Keep in mind that opportunities come available at all points throughout the year. There do tend to be less opportunities available during the late spring and early summer. Sometimes, though, you will find opportunities available at any given time. Usually you're going to be looking for opportunities in the latter half of the quarter in order to apply so that you are available for the following quarter. So, for example, since the schedule of classes is going to be coming out very soon, most students are going to be looking in the next few weeks for their opportunities for spring.
There was also another question, Lisa, I'm going to ask you. For some opportunities, can you get academic credit and be paid at the same time?
So that would not apply for 198s and 199s. You cannot actually earn credit for 198 and 199 and get paid. However, AIP 197 does allow that for certain opportunities. And so if you were to be looking for that, you would want to make sure that you looked into the various types of opportunities. I also saw a message here that says, how does a study abroad public health program such as Ghana apply to upper division requirements for BSPH? Keep in mind, that's a completely separate question. That's study abroad. So you'll want to look on our website for the study abroad opportunities and how you go about getting credit for studying abroad. That's not necessarily something that you're going to be looking at here. Sometimes study abroad will give you the opportunity to do some sort of an internship, but that typically is not going to count in the same way for the same requirement. So if you go on our website and you look, it's also under Beyond the Classroom. If you look on our study abroad page, you should be able to get basic information about studying abroad. And if you have further questions about it, you can always send a virtual advising center message or see if you can make an appointment with an advisor after you talk with the study abroad office, because you'll want to know what your specific program's requirements are going to be before you talk with us, because it's very difficult for us to talk about study abroad in the broadest sense. So just the short answer to that is check our website for the study abroad information, but it will not count in exactly the same way.
And then I have another question. I had a DM. When will this recording be posted and where can they find it?
In theory, it will be posted pretty quickly later this week. And they will be able to find it on the public health YouTube that we have linked to our website, and theoretically also on the website under past workshops. I believe it's going to be, let me just navigate there really quick. It's going to be under advising and resources on the Bachelor of Science in Public Health website. And then there is going to be a tab called past workshops.
And I'm going to jump in. If you follow the social media, Instagram, we can also, when it's ready, we can post it on Instagram and tell you where to go. I did get a good question here. Could office hours be an opportunity to connect with professors and share topics of interest as a starting point? Absolutely. office hours are yours. So when a professor has an office hour, they're open and they're there for you. So that is an excellent opportunity to connect with a professor and then get ideas and share topics. It's a wonderful starting point.
Okay, it looks like the questions are slowing, but please don't be shy. If you still have questions or if you want to contact us later with more questions, um, we're happy to talk about this more because really, this is one of the great opportunities with going to UCSD, that there is world-class research being done here, and you can become a part of it. And that's great, not just for your current interests in education, but also whatever you go on to next, if it's a job, if it's grad school. This is one of those things that can really set you apart, showing that you have research experience. And this is a great way to get to know faculty better. If you need recommendations, things like that, participating in a faculty's research, being a part of their lab is a really good way to do that. Let's see. Oh, so okay. Someone asked how many hours should be dedicated to research in a week when you're just volunteering. So yeah, like Elisa is saying, that's really up to the faculty. Or, if you are coming to a faculty member offering your time and saying, I would love to volunteer in your lab, you should be really clear and upfront about how much time you are ready to give them. So I can volunteer up to 5 hours a week, just so they know exactly what you are offering, and whether that fits in well with their lab. So again, there's no requirement for that because you're just straight up volunteering. No credit, no pay. So it's really just between you and them. Okay. Other questions? Okay, well, like I said, don't be shy. If you have more questions, you can contact myself or Christine or Lisa. Um, and we are more than happy to talk to you in person if you want to meet with us, or yeah, shoot us an email if you have any issues.
Shoot the advisors, the virtual advising center message, please.
Great. Thank you. It's so nice to see so many people interested.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.